Alright, we're in the winner bracket still for qualifier number 4. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the starting map in our best of 3, and we have RossPierrDoll going up against the Raiders. Now, quick note, this is the first time that the Polish team in red is actually participating in the qualifiers. Now, again, the way the qualifiers work is the farther you get in one of the qualifier tournaments, the more points you gather, the more points you have at the end of all 5 qualifiers, the higher up in the leaderboard you are, and the top teams in the leaderboard make it into the playoffs. Now in the playoffs themselves, we have $2,000 of prize money. As I said before, it's all sponsored by me this time, so a bit of an early Christmas present to the Heroes of the Storm community. But with that being the first qualifier that RossPierrDoll plays in, that also means that they now have only the 4th and the 5th qualifier in order to get enough points. Doable, but they gotta step it up. So we'll see how far they can go with this. Don't forget, there's also a couple of teams that don't participate in every qualifier. For example, the Akatsuki are not participating in this one particularly. And since they only formed in qualifier number 2, they also missed the first one, so to say. So something to keep in mind here. That same rule applies to a lot of other teams as well. Everybody can pick or choose. So this makes the standings then towards the end a lot more interesting. As we're heading into this, another quick note, in qualifier number 4 we now have 15 heroes that are pre-banned. I explained this previously, but the bans, they hinge on sub-goals that we have on the Twitch channel. So from one qualifier to another, more heroes will be banned every single time. In qualifier number 3 we had 12 heroes banned. Now in qualifier number 4, 3 more got added to the pre-bans: Johanna, Sylvanas and Junkrat. So that means that a lot of those heroes are now unavailable, and obviously the second rule still applies. Whenever a hero gets played in a series, he can't be played again in the same series. So as we're heading into this, I have my eyes particularly for 3 mappers, but also I guess when we're talking about the best of 5 in the grand final, on tanks, because teams started to really ban out tanks quite a bit. The Nubarak got the axe already in the last qualifier a lot. Now we have the same pattern here, and with Jojo now also being pre-banned, we could see Arthur as a main tank a lot more often. We could see Imperius as a main tank. So there's definitely now the chance that some of these heroes will have to be picked in order to get a good frontliner. Going into game number 1 and game number 2, there's plenty around. Garrosh is available, Varian is available, and Nubarak is obviously there. We got plenty. But it is something to pay some attention to, because it could play a role later. Now, Rhaegar gets banned, Mephisto gets banned here. I mean, this Tomb of Spider Queen, after all, this is actually a perfect example of where Johanna would have usually played a big role. If you've seen any of the previous qualifiers, you know that whenever Tomb of the Spider Queen gets played, Jojo gets either picked or she gets banned. I mean, immediately. This is just what happens. But now that we're heading into this, Junkrat, by the way, too. Another good example. But now they gotta still think this through a bit. I, for example, would not be surprised if in qualifier number 4, but at the latest in qualifier number 5, we're also going to see Ragnaros a bit more often. You can play him as a side laner there as well. So once that we're getting into these 3 map matches or these 5 map grand finals of the qualifiers, that is a big chance. Stukov and Leoric, Mal'Ganis and Chromie on the other side. And Mal'Ganis is getting played a lot more now. It's still beyond me that Chromie is still in here. It's kind of crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And again, it's your guys' fault. There's still people that ask me, like, who decides which heroes are getting banned? You guys did. There was a poll. There actually is still a poll. And I've been harping on it on Twitch. I've been harping on it on YouTube. We put it on Reddit. We had it on Twitter. It was pretty much everywhere advertised. And you guys voted. So when people come in and be like, how is it possible that this hero is banned? Who decides that? You guys did. So I am going to be sitting here blaming you for all of the shitty decisions that you made. How could you have not banned Chromie? Nobody likes Chromie. Like, nobody. I mean, you did a good job with Anwen. You did a great job with Brightwing. I like it. Thumbs up. A couple of others where I approve. But also, who the hell decides to ban Abathar? Are you people out of your mind? Who doesn't love to watch an Abathar game? I'm not denying that it can be super annoying going up against an Abathar or have a shitty one on your team, but why do you ban him? Guys, you're watching. You're just sitting here and you can watch other people and watch their misery. I thought that's why we're here. But okay, so we get Leo, we have Chromie, and we get Anna banned, we get Medivh banned, and immediately Kerrigan plus Garrosh. So already a lot of control at the front. Couple of slows, the silence from Stukov with a lurking arm, another combo with Kerrigan. We have Garrosh over here for even more bullying. And yeah, not bad. I actually like that. That's a really annoying draft to go up against. It's just a question of what exactly are they playing as their range damage dealer now. But the blue team, they respond. They go white main, and we have Falstad. So we get the birdie, disengage with the wind tunnel, or mighty gust at the start. And that leaves us with our final pick for the red team, for RossPierrDoll, for the Polish team. RossPierrDoll. Let's go, boys. So, what's it gonna be? We get a very hesitant pick. I can tell you that much already. Running down the clock here, and it's Gul'dan. Makes sense. Could have seen Jaina as well, honestly. But yeah, Gul'dan gets locked in. Tomb of Spider Queen. Game number 1. Let's go. Prepare yourself. Game number 1. On the left, the Raiders with Nano on Chromie. Shut up. We got Huntorg on white main, Johan on Mal'Ganis, Sven is playing the Haka, and Gia is playing Falstad. Over on the right side of the map, RossPierrDoll with Markotzel on Garrosh, we got Zeomek on Kerrigan, Balor on Gul'dan, Bronek on Stukov, and Whitey on Leoric. He is looking a little bit pale lately. So, I'm not sure if it's a diet problem, but he is skin and bones. What a joke! Oh my god! Some people will have to rewind and be like, what did he say that was funny? And yeah, spoiler alert, nothing really. But again, as long as I find it funny, this is all that counts. The Germans, they have a very good sense of humor. It is internationally accepted that they are very funny. So, you have to deal with it. Kerrigan trying to deal with that stun combo. No, that rotation kind of threatened her a little bit more than anything else. But we have the wave clear, and so we got Gul'dan. He can already fire away over here. We have also Falstad again stacking. Chromie is stacking on level 1. Obviously, the Austin's renewal now for Leoric, and he's already down at the bottom of the map, established against the Haka. The 1v1 that the two of them are going to be playing out over the course of this. And all the way up at the top, still our little play against Kerrigan. But Stukov is close, so he can shut this down with a lurking arm fairly quickly. And then again, down here, that's the problem. 2 globals for the team. And honestly, with 2 globals on their side, this could get nasty quickly. Because if you are the side laner, and Falstad all of a sudden makes an appearance, then you can quickly find yourself in a real pickle. So you gotta be a little bit careful on how you play this one out, and always account for globals to move in eventually. So yeah, bit of caution definitely advised for Leoric at the side lane. We saw a couple of other players and heroes that had some real issues with Falstad being played on the other team, and now we're having Falstad and Dehaka. So yeah, there is a lot with that. But again, either way, we now have in the early game... Ooh, barely dodging out on that. Could have been also a problem. No kill this far. I mean, everybody's just still dancing around, trying to collect a couple of gems, making sure that they are rotating between the middle and the top, trying to dominate it as best as they can. Got the turn-in points a little bit. Haven't seen any gems turned in yet. It's more about camps, bruiser camp in this case. And up at the top, Kerrigan by now with 13 stacks, and Falstad getting a bit too aggressive there with his positioning, but obviously didn't even have to use his barrel roll, so still totally fine. That could become a problem. Yeah, but Kerrigan tried to anticipate where exactly Mal'Ganis would move, couldn't quite make that work. Good save also from Garrosh now, as they're keeping Stukov out of harm's way. And Leo's already in the middle, dealing with the remaining parts of that bruiser camp that were taken earlier. Kerrigan also with the sharpened blades on level 4 after she started things with the siphoning impact here. So it's all about giving him more survivability and that shield assimilation. Definitely a different style from what we've seen from most Kerrigan players so far lately. We have also the one good spread taken on level 4 for Stukov. And there's still Siege Giants down at the bot lane, so they could go for those. But it would open an opportunity for the blue team up to turn in their gems. And Falstad has already delivered 10. So that's the first thing. But yeah, what are we getting? Another save, maybe kill. They go for Garrosh. Nope, not yet. Both teams now have enough gems for a turn-in, by the way. So both teams have plenty. Let's see who gets the first set of Web Weavers. On the turn-in side, the blue team is currently ahead. They have done a bit better. We're able to turn in with 2 of their heroes, and that secured 27 gems. Kerrigan was able to deliver 25, so good for her. They're maybe even able to get a kill here. Johan gets pulled around a bit, but not stunned, and is still moving through with the Fell Claws, and Kerrigan nearly died. Made it past the gate just as Chromie was getting ready to hammer away with another Sandblast. 44 gems now after the bot laner has turned in. I think the Haka was able to get rid. And it's the blue team that secures their Web Weavers first. So good for the Raiders. Yeah, off to a nice start here with the first objective. Gul'dan still stacking, sitting at 22 stacks on level 1. On level 7 we're getting bound by Shadows. And the Boundless Fury now for Kerrigan. With Intercession for Whitemane and Mal'Ganis with the Will of Tichondrios. So, Web Weaver time. Still not a single kill. Could change now with Chromie having access to her level 10. They go for Leo at the bottom of the map. He should try and stay alive. With 23 gems that he holds, he would be a great hero to take down for the Raiders. But it would be a bit of a small disaster for RossPierrDoll if they would actually lose the gems and Leoric now. So he has to be very careful and needs some assistance, and he's going to get it in the form of Stukov, who now comes in and is ready for the next heal. They already defended the mid lane. Kerrigan is dealing with the top, and down here it seems like they are going to be in a decent spot too. Nice move against the Haka. Yeah, Garrosh is still has to be a bit cautious and ate a lot of damage here. Indomitable was not available for him. So they save all of their forts. Actually saved most of the gates too, or the towers, so not bad. Decent defense. But can the red team now turn in? It's actually kind of crazy because we are still without a single kill, and honestly, we haven't seen any... I think you had an opening there. We have not only not seen a kill, we have also not seen any kind of big damage done yet. The Web Weavers, they weren't able to take any structures out. We're not looking at a big lead for one of the teams. Maybe there's a slight advantage for the Raiders in the race to level 10, but it's nothing insane. So this is extremely close, especially since this is the first game of this match. And every single time that Garrosh makes a play for Mal'Ganis, he's just ready. But this is going to be it, finally. Yeah, Gul'dan goes down. Nicely done. So he gets hit and murdered. And here's level 10 for both teams now. First blood has been secured. And they're trying to turn in maybe again. Yeah, nice damage. Oh my god, that could be... Oh, he's at 500 HP still. I gotta admit that it's funny to see how close they are at times to take down Mal'Ganis, but he's just always walking outside of it. And Garrosh is putting him in some really interesting situations by just flipping him into towers over and over again. So a lot of the damage that was dished out against Mal'Ganis was actually tower damage. But they're just not able to lock him down long enough to get an actual kill. So Johan is doing extremely well here. Quick shove, but that could be the end of Stukov. Yeah, I'm sorry, but he doesn't stand a chance. 2 gems is all that he had though, so it's not a big problem. But they're holding so many, and just look how diligently the Raiders are now guarding those turn-in spots. They are making sure that nobody can turn in from RossPierrDoll. And what we're getting instead is them guarding their gems once more. And they are now in a position where they can get another turn-in. So we could see the second set of Web Weavers for the blue team before we're seeing anything for RossPierrDoll. So, yeah. Now, still a bit of damage done over here. Mal'Ganis even popping the ult to get away. Now, Falstad already flying to the top, and he's going to turn in, and he's going to complete it too. Nobody's interrupting him. So there's the Web Weavers, but they're losing the Haka. Now, this was pretty good, but he can still... I think he still has his global available. So once that he respawns, he can immediately global back in. But of course, it is going to be a bit annoying to start the Web Weaver phase. Oh, sorry, it was the red team that got it. My bad. I thought a Haka turned in and the blue team was able to lock it in. So yeah, forget what I was about to say. We actually have Web Weavers for the red team, for RossPierrDoll, as they're trying to bring this back. But yeah, camp in the middle was a good catch from the Raiders. And the Haka is back and Carrigan is gone. And yeah, that is nearly denying that Web Weaver wave. It's a 5 versus 4 now. Level 13 will be ready in a few seconds too. Falset is already doing work up at the top. That was pretty important. So yeah, not shabby. We got Lashing Out now. We also got the Flow Rider, Ferocious Stalker. Level 13 talents are indeed available. And yeah, the Gust, as they're trying to still force a fight here and take it. If they can get another kill, particularly, of course, against Stukov, that would be fantastic, and they take the support out. So Stukov is gone, just as Carrigan is back to business. 40 gems and Leo falls. Now they're trying to catch all of it, and they are. The 40 gems are now in the hands of Carrigan, and she gets licked, dragged, and saved. Saved by Garrosh, who dies with 32 gems, and Carrigan is dead as well. They lost 70 gems. 70 gems? What the hell? No! No, not like this. Look at it. Oh my god, 32, Carrigan trying to recover everything, she dies, Gul'dan dies. It's a triple kill and 70 gems lost in the process. That is about as bad as it gets for a team. That's I mean, this is pretty much a GG next moment, right there. They're currently searching for the surrender button everywhere. And there's a heated debate going on in voice for the red team, where they are trying to decide whether or not they're going to type GG in caps or not. That's the only question that really remains here. If they make a comeback in this one, that would be incredible. I mean, it's not out of the question. You can still make a comeback, but it would be so difficult from here on out. Things are not going well. Carrigan gets caught again. The globals are making her life a living hell. The forts are going to get destroyed right now. And it's just getting... Yeah, this is gonna hurt. If you lose this many gems and then you're also 2 levels behind in a talent, you know that you are in what we call in professional circles deep shit. So, yeah, another lick, and that's gonna be the end of Leoric. They're falling completely apart here. And you can't really blame them. The Gust into a corner, 16 talents in the hands of the Raiders. The Raiders are murdering them, absolutely crushing them. The Raiders, they're moving through RossPierrDoll like hot butter through cheese right now. They're melting one hero away after the next. 12 kills to 1. The game was so even for such a long time. And that action in the middle, we're going to play it again because it was just so decisive. Like, this decided the game. It absolutely did. I mean, this was where everything just fell apart. Too many gems lost. They get 3 kills. They get that fort. Now the keep at the bottom of the map is destroyed. They open the wall in the middle, and it is just a nightmare. 3 levels behind on top of that. Total disaster. Absolute disaster for them. But yeah, sometimes that's just how it goes. There's a bit of a snowball going on, a small momentum swing, and it turns into a full avalanche, and that is exactly what happened here. The damage output is also snowballed. Chromie is at 36,000. Gul'dan is at least trying to keep up, and he puts 32 to the board. But now they can go for boss at the top with that big of a lead that they're running here. And it's just crazy. Red team, they need something. But there's another set of Web Weavers. They're still playing around the boss at the top. They want to go for the knockout blow right here. So that's the goal. And you can already tell they're not even going for the boss. They're not even trying to make a play around it. I mean, not that they really could, honestly. So this is going to be Web Weavers and boss at the top lane. You can kiss that keep goodbye. Mid lane, bot lane are going to be pressured. The keep in the middle has already taken damage. I would be absolutely shocked if the game didn't end here. If RossPierrDoll can actually save this now, that would be impressive to say the least. We're only 30 minutes in, so I guess some of these have not scaled too heavily into the late game yet, but it is going to be tough to hold this no matter what. 16 is ready, Royal Focus is in, we have the synergy with the Ruinous Affliction and the level 1. that might help them a little bit here. Dehaka dodges the combo, keep in the middle, of course about to be destroyed. Gus to save the day. There's even an Entomb, and that is the end of White Mane. That's a support gone. That's actually big. Killing the support here is huge, and they couldn't kill Stukov. So Stukov is still alive, but you have a boss on the core, and you have Web Weavers there too. Oh my god, the Web Weaver nearly killing Stukov. But yeah, this is still a massive amount of damage here, and the shield is already gone. 19 to 16. They're trying, but it's not going to be enough. Melganis is gone, so they got another kill. But the core is falling. The core is falling to the boss. Kerrigan is dead. Falstad is about to fall. 28%. They might save it for now. 11. Nah, they're not. That is game. That's the lead for the Raiders in this series. Victory on Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Battlefield of Eternity! Match point for the Raiders. Let's go. We have our second map in the series. 10 heroes have been played already. Cannot be played again. And now we got the Raiders in a position where they might be able to move on to the next round of the winner bracket, of course. So, kind of curious for this. Battlefield again. We still have Greymane up. Would be a good hero to pick here. We have Lim Ming up as well. But there's always Jimmy. I'm personally a Jimmy fan. Normally, you don't get to see Jimmy, but with this many pre-bans, it's possible. And it's kind of cool. Jimmy has problems with the mobility, with positioning against... well, mobility creep came obviously in as Tracer was added, Genji was added, Hanzo came in on all of this. It became more and more tricky for heroes that don't have a lot of mobility tools, especially damage dealers, to survive throughout these fights. And there's a lot of other heroes with stuns that came in too. But right now, in this environment with Meta Madness, there's actually a chance to put this one off. So, we got Liming banned, Sonya's banned as well. She could slam away against the Immortal too. And I'm a bit curious if we're going to get a bit of a curveball right now. Jimmy is of course an option, but still. Game number 1 was actually kind of... Game number 1 was really close and interesting, up to the point where it wasn't anymore. This one fight in the mid lane at the fort where everything fell apart for RossPierrDoll. So they did a great job up to that point. If they're able to win that battle, if they turn in, they might be the ones to snowball it. But the Raiders, they've been doing absolutely fantastic in every single qualifier that they participated in so far. And I gotta say, I want to see how far they can go here. They've been consistently threatening some of the top teams and are well positioned in the leaderboard too to make it into the playoffs. Greymane gets banned. Again, with this many damage dealers being banned, the chances that we're going to get Jimmy eventually are obviously just rising. Now, I believe Lulnara is still around, so she could also be played. We have a couple of melees that could be locked into. We have in the past seen also Nazebo, Spider build Nazebo can be alright against the Immortal. I don't think that the teams are necessarily that desperate yet, but it's something to at least consider. A couple of mages are still around that you can play as well, but like the standard options that you would now see here, those are kind of gone. So, what is the blue team going to grace us with? What are we getting from them? I love how the deeper we're going into these qualifiers, how the ban phases take a little bit longer because everybody's just like checking what can we play, what is good here, what are we going to do. Now we have Urel and Malfurion, and when I see Malfurion, I'm immediately thinking about banning Varian now. So I wouldn't be shocked if RossPierrDoll actually decides that they're going to ban Varian out. We have Muradin already taken, Garrosh was played, so Varian with follow-up from Malfurion would be pretty good. So, yeah, definitely something to consider here when it comes to bans. Suljin! Suljin and Oriel. They want Axe. There's a lot of Axe here. Yep. I like this. Together with Oriel too, it's just going to be real fun. And now the question, how exactly are the Raiders going to react to it? I wouldn't be surprised if they even lock in Artanis I mean, first of all, you need some damage against the Immortal. You could go match your opponent. It's not insane, but it's better than nothing. Better than some options. On top of that, you can also then blind Suljin in some of these fights, at least with your ult. Not a reason to pick it by itself, but, you know, yeah. Problem, of course, is that Sven has already locked in Urel. So if you really wanted to do that, you have to play a triple frontline, and I'm not quite sure if they're really willing to do that. But first I want to see what happens with the ban. Is it going to be Varian, or are they just going to get rid of something else? And there's plenty of... And Nubarak is also still available now that I think about it. So yeah, they banned Nubarak, and that makes a lot more sense, honestly. For some reason I thought he was already out, but yeah, he was not played in game number 1. So Nubarak indeed is up, gets banned. Varian is therefore available. So are a few others. And they gotta deal with Suljin somehow. Late game Suljin can hurt a lot. I mean, we had some Suljin games where I believe he had like 80, 90 stacks, and it's just disgusting how much damage he can chunk out there. We get Mei. Okay, Mei, another good option, and Cassia. That leaves us with the final 2 picks. Yeah, so they have with Mei actually a lot of CC here. This is the second time today that we're seeing Mei. She gets a lot of play right now. With Jojo banned, again, it targeted the front line even more, so... Slowly the priorities are shifting because of that. But as we're heading into game number 2, I mean, RossPierrDoll needs to change something, right? If not, they're dropping down into the loser's bracket. I told you how important it was for them to do well here, simply because they are in a position where they need to get as many points as they can, because this is the first qualifier they participate in. So after this, they can only play in qualifier number 5. So we get Zagara for them, and we get Rexa. There's a lot of stuns, and that is a lot of stuff to run around on the map. You get Misha, you get like all of those, all that vermin, and Zagara is just going to spawn all day. And there's Artanis, so they go for it. They go for the triple frontline. Talked about it earlier, and there it is indeed. Battlefield of Eternity is therefore set up, and with that we're going to jump in the second game in this series between RossPierrDoll and the Raiders. Prepare yourselves for battle and for Khaldor to change the scoreboard. So, 1-0, the Raiders are in the lead, and on the left side we have Sven on Urel in this match point for the blue team. Nano on Artanis, we got Hunter Orc on Malfurion, Johan on Mei, and Gia on Cassia. Oh, on the right side of the map, RossPierrDoll with Makotzl on Muradin, Zeomek on Zagara. Bronek is playing Suljin, so yep, this is where it's gonna get good. We have him with Recklessness as his level 1 choice, Whitey is playing Rexa, and Balor is going for Oriel. So, let's go! All them stacks. Give him X. So much X. So, let's try and see how quickly he can get his 15 stacks together. That increases his auto attack range a little bit, which is obviously going to be really neat, so that he can stack even further. Needs to stay away from Artanis a bit. I kind of highlighted why Artanis is a decent choice, and at least in this context can be. So that's what they're currently doing. And yep, there's already the swap, and that is the end of Suljin. Yep. Just like that. Glorious swap by Nano. Suljin is down. This is still the best proven way to stop Suljin from stacking. You just kill him and then he's dead, and then he can't stack because he can't attack anybody. So, that's 2 kills to 0. And I guess Muradin is also not going to make it, because eventually he's going to fall. Or is he? I don't think that they can save him. I also am not quite sure if Malfurion can actually take him down. So yeah, Muradin is just jumping away here. That level 1 putting him to sleep. And he's wasting a lot of their time. A lot of their time. Eventually he's gonna get his ass moonfired. But yep, so Muradin is finally dead. Took them long enough. There's 3 kills to 0 in total. And down at the bottom of the map, that gave Nano enough time to go for the camp. So he took that already. Level 1, we got the Bird of Prey. But yeah, poor Muradin gets destroyed here. So Zagara is also doing a thing. We now have at the top another camp about to be taken, and Urel gets barely interrupted, but considering that there's still 3 heroes around in total, yeah, he needs to get out of there. Good choice trying to move. There's the Stormbolt. They're really trying to get a kill. I mean, they are greeding for this now. And they might get... I'm not sure if they can get it, honestly. Another Stormbolt, maybe, but they have to connect it. And he misses. Oh, but Misha. Misha gets the connect. And that is Cassia gone. Nice. I like the tenacity. They were really waiting for their kill and working hard for it, and they got it eventually, so good on them. They get rewarded for being super tenacious on it. Level 4 talents, that gives us the Envenomed Spines. We have also the Grizzled Fortitude, and Mirrodin is gonna go for Healing Static later on, going for the double clap over here, and doing his thing. Up at the top, we have Soljin now with the Voodoo Shuffle, has 6 stacks so far. Nothing insane, but again, they're taking the camp now. The Immortals are spawning in roughly 10, and Soljin is a little bit low. A little bit too low for my liking, honestly. So, yeah. It's always nice when you get the additional attack speed and everything, but you gotta find the mix, right? You gotta find where you're still comfortable enough that you're not gonna get one-shot by your opponent. And now they're starting to take this one out fairly quickly. Soljin obviously can be very helpful here too, but he also needs way more stacks if they want to have him as their main damage dealer as the game continues. Now, to be honest, they haven't drafted him as the only damage dealer, so they have Zagara here, who can pack a punch as well. But in the late game, against the triple front line, the idea has to be that Soljin is going to get good stacks and is going to do his thing. So, yeah. Red team is going to lose the first Immortal. On the other hand, the blue team is just too strong on this just right now. And you can't dominate them in team fights yet either. But as they are scaling into the middle and the late game, things might change in favor of RossPierrDoll. What I'm kind of worried about is that... Oh, that's a kill? No, instead. They get the kill, but Soljin is also dead. So it's a little bit awkward, honestly. Because there's a massive shield on that Immortal. And this is the one thing that concerns me a bit when I'm thinking about RossPierrDoll's chances to make this a 3-mapper and to force the next map. Because if you're in a situation where the first shield is already that huge, you might lose a lot of ground. Thankfully for them, there's not too many people pushing just yet, so the shield gets removed super quickly. The wall will fall no matter what, but Soljin is now back to business, and as highlighted, at 15 he's going to get the extended range on his auto attack. He's already sitting at 13, so this is gonna get... Yeah, this is gonna be alright for him. He should be able to make that happen. And he actually went into Arcanite access, so now it's even more important for him to get quickly to 30 stacks so that he has the double swing and can stack even further on damage. So that would be important. But getting the 15 now would make his life a lot easier, and he's about to lock that in. So then we're going to get the first quest reward for him. There it is, and that gives him some extra range. Zagara dying is not furthering their cause though. That's 5 kills to 2. And they might lose more on the retreat. This is not looking great. Nice whip at least. I mean, at least Soljin is able to stack, right? So he's at 21 now. He's really been hammering it out there. But now he gets flipped and possibly killed. Not quite. He dies. I mean, I'm still calling worse. Even if the blue team would have lost someone killing him, if you can stop him from stacking, that's great. But just look at the disaster that's unfolding here. 8 kills to 2. 8 kills to 2 right now, and they're diving in on Zagara as she comes back trying to defend the fort. So yep, they're gonna take the bug down once more. Zagara is killed, and they take the fort at the bottom. And the thing that makes all of this so much worse is the experience lead that the blue team has now taken. Because they're looking at a sexy 1.5 level lead that gives them level 10. And it really doesn't get any better than that. I mean, boy oh boy. This is, yeah, this is huge. Snowball gets played by Mei. She, by the way, went into the heavy pack and the slush ball, so we had some really big changes in builds from the 2 times that she was played. The backup battery on level 7 for her, and up at the top they're fighting. I have no idea why they're fighting. Why are you fighting against an opponent that has level 10 abilities? That is a little bit suicidal. They are getting out, so good on them. They were trying to still secure that camp somehow, and they made it out. Bronick was stacking a bit more. He is going to get good damage out as the game continues. He's sitting at 20,000, so that puts him into the driver's seat when it comes to top damage on his team. He nearly has top damage in the game, and I think eventually he's probably going to end up in that situation. But since they miss half a level for 10, they have to give up on the halftime show. There's just no other way. And Soljin is their only hope, I believe. I mean, if Soljin makes it into the late game somehow and can really stack all of this up, Arcanite access included, then they might have a chance and can hope for a miracle, but it's going to be rough. Halftime show's over. They have level 10, so they at least have a fighting chance on Immortal number 1. Suljin, of course, with the Tans Dingo over here. Ooh, we get Playmaker, baby. Alright, they're trying into some Playmaker moves. 25 stacks now for Suljin. Again, keep in mind at 30, he is going to get his double swing, which is going to be super important for the Arcanite access, sitting at 13 stacks there. Nice more as well, but it's about follow-ups. And on that front, they haven't done a lot. They lose Zagara again. She gets squashed like a bug. The Exterminators are indeed in the house. And they're just, yeah, they're just bullying them where they stand. 27 stacks now for Suljin. 14 on the Arcanite axis. Again, he still gets some good damage out of all of this. He's at 23,000, pulling ahead farther from Zagara, but it is still an uphill battle. Just look at this shield again. This is once again a huge shield. We're talking 60-70% here. And a 1.5 level lead that they still maintain, plus the camp that they're now grabbing. That top fort will be destroyed. The bottom one has already been eliminated. Zagara, she is still in a spot where she can easily pressure these minion waves, take them out, and yeah, do her thing, but she is so damn squishy that she just gets killed way too much. It's an 8 kill gap between the two teams, and it's a bit bonkers. So, yeah. But by now, the top lane is going to get eliminated fairly quickly. Once again, the ult of Atanis also to counter Suljin a little bit. Again, blinds are not really a hard counter or anything, but it really helps you. It gives you a bit more of a wiggle room here. And then, of course, you add Cassia to the mix as well. There's a little bit more to consider. So Suljin once again targeted here, as you would expect. Sitting at 28 stacks, getting a few more in for Arcanite access. Everybody down here is just getting flipped around. Eeg is being used to. I think Rexa's still gonna die. I don't think they can save him. And oh, that's a nice one. Yep, that's Muradin down. Suljin gets his ult out. Good stacks still, but of course, he can't do anything at this point in time. Once that he's on level 20 and there's more stacks, it's going to be a completely different story. But the way this game is going, I just don't think they're ever going to get to that point. If he has... yeah, I mean, again, if he can upgrade it on 20, that would be nice to have the survivability here. He gets good damage out, but this is going to be a quickie. The Raiders, they are going for it, and... yeah, not what I expected. I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with the quickie, but it's not really what I thought we would get here. But they are obviously running out of time, as it seems. Like, maybe Sven has a hot Tinder date or something, you never know. But now Atanis is gone. Ooh, and Malfurion is dead as well. So from the Raiders trying to end this game super fast to them now getting murdered a bit here, and more stacks coming together for Suljin. Is this going to be the beginning of a comeback? 15 kills to 5 all of a sudden. Bit of body blocking against Urel, and she gets used as a pincushion. So much axe. That's a lot of axe that she just got. Way more axe that she was comfortable with. So that's 30 stacks on the Arcanite axis. That's 41 stacks on the baseline. That's not bad. And Snare on 13. Okay. Again, they lost way too many structures. Still only a level behind. Suljin is becoming more of a threat. Are we talking comeback yet? Maybe not quite. Next Immortal is going to tell us a lot in that regard. But at least Suljin is becoming a real threat now. Now Zagara is dying again. The swaps that we're getting from Nano are on point. He's doing a great job with this. Now they're trying for Suljin again. There's a couple of heals. They really try to keep Suljin in play. They know that he is potential salvation for the team. Not easy, but he's the one that could make it happen in the long run. They have to focus on him, but there's again the avalanche. And these plays that we're seeing from Mei were just stellar. They get another kill out of it. Oriel is gone. That's the end of Rexa. And the only survivor is Suljin, as Muradin gets completely put into a corner and murdered. So, Suljin, again, a few more stacks. He's sitting at 57 now for the Axis. He is getting good damage. The problem just simply is it's not going to be enough for them. If they can somehow get him to level 20 and maybe get an objective, that's a different story. But we're just not there yet. He's at 44,000 damage, and he's really starting to catch up with Cassia too. But it doesn't change the fact that they are now 13 kills behind, that they don't have a level 16 talent. They're 2 levels behind, and they have just nobody on the map now that would allow them to go for the Immortal and win this bad boy. And once this Immortal is taken, particularly with a potential big shield, that bottom keep with the wall already about to be destroyed, you're losing it too. So they gotta fight, and I just don't see it. It could have been an amazing comeback into the series, but they needed to bring it way deeper into the late game, and it just doesn't look like they have that option right now. So yeah, Suljin still sitting here. They want the kill. Rexa is already gone, and even with a bit of stacking that Bronick is trying to get out, he needs to pop and snare and then move his way out of the fight. Cannot really engage. They were already trying to aim for him. Now Zagara is getting caught by Urel. Has no chance to escape there either. Oriel is already dead, and this is disastrous for them. They tried and they got some real decent numbers here. I mean, you look at the slicing and dicing that we're getting from the level 7 talent on Suljin, and it's good damage, but it's just not doing enough for them. So yeah, it's kind of sad. I think they had an opportunity to eventually turn this around, but you need to do better early on so that you can reach that late game where Suljin destroys them. With all the blinds that were in, he couldn't stack as much as he wanted to, but again, they never really made it into a decent spot. Suljin with his ult, but he only delays the inevitable here. That's the problem when you don't have your 20 yet. So Suljin is down, Rek'Sai is down, and they're just getting absolutely crushed here. Feel a little bit bad for them. RossPierrDoll in their first qualifier. They're being sent down into the losers bracket. There's no denying this anymore. The Raiders are just a bit too strong for them to handle. They've been insanely powerful throughout all the qualifiers that they participated in, so they ended this series as the favorites. That's pretty clear. Cassia is sitting at 66,000 damage, and that is the victory for the blue team in this best of 3. They lock in the W. Nicely done, well played, and also well deserved, of course. A 2-0 win for the team on the left side. The Raiders, they make it to the winner bracket semi-final. GG and well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.